Shit, I should probably put the porn away, huh?
Welcome
everybody to this edition of Dads on Wrestling.
Yeah, Dads on Wrestling. The dads of the world are watching porn on their computers. Not focused on wrestling.
It's one night in China.
Oh, that's okay then. That's okay then.
It's wrestling related.
Oh, okay, that's right then. That's alright then.
Anyways, welcome to this edition of Dads on Wrestling. I'm the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams.
I guess that makes me Jeff Meacham.
And we are going to hell for this.
We are going to hell.
But we are here today to talk about the top 50 tag teams in WWE history as determined by WWE.com.
Now, they're very quick to point out that they only counted the accomplishments obtained inside WWE's little bubble.
Okay. So WCW.
So like Arn and Tully are on the list, but they're not on their list based on their accomplishments as the Horseman tag team.
They're on there as the
Brainbusters. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So keep that in mind before you get all crazy and shit on us, because this isn't our list.
No.
We are evaluating WWE.com's list.
Yes, and throwing our 2 cents in as it were.
And starting it out at the bottom of the barrel, even though the bottom of the 50 is still not bad, because if you're 1 through 50 of all time, you're still not bad.
Yeah, because there's been more than 50 tag teams in WWE history.
Yeah. Including Kane and Mankind, who weren't included on this list, which surprised me.
There's a few people we'll talk about later.
You know, but I just threw it out. I had to think about them just now. The Bushwhackers at number 50. That's right. Now, the Bushwhackers were never the champions.
No.
They were never unofficially champions like the Rockers.
Yeah.
They just kind of existed as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
And before the WWF, they were a heel tag team, the Sheepherders.
Exactly.
When they came in, they brought them in as baby faces.
I've always wanted to see Sheepherders footage.
Well,
like, I've only ever seen them as the Bushwhackers, the over-the-top cartoony. I want to see that footage of them as that heel team.
Well, what's funny is they, post-Bushwhacker debut, they appeared one time as a heel tag team on an episode of Family Matters, if you recall, when they wrestled Steve and Carl.
I don't know if I ever saw that episode.
Yeah, there was an episode where Carl and Steve got worked into replacing instead of the tag team. They got injured or whatever by the Bushwhackers team, and Carl and Steve were in the ring with Butch and Luke. So they were heel then. So there you go. 49, Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas, the Soul Patrol.
Okay.
The first historic African American tag team champions in wrestling history.
Yes.
Not just WWE, I don't think. But that's their accomplishment. They were the first African American tag team championship team in WWE history. And, you know, both of them went on to be Hall of Famers. Yeah. Rocky Johnson went on to father the most electrifying man in all of entertainment. Mm-hmm. And his father-in-law was also High Chief Peter Maivia. Mm-hmm. And Tony was Mr. USA. He was a great power lifter. Now on Legends House.
Yes. Which, by the way, we're filming this May 1st. We're canning this way back. I'm not sure exactly what date this will be going up. But my Thursday, May 1st, Throwback Thursday photo was some of the legends in Legends House that I've met. And that was retweeted as of this filming by Hacksaw and Jimmy Hart.
There you go.
Just got to throw that out there.
Neither of which are on this list.
Yeah, the only ones that I have never met were Tony and...
Eugene?
No, I've got Gino.
Oh.
Pat Patterson.
Pat Patterson, that's right.
I had the opportunity to get Pat Patterson in San Diego one time, but he only took one photo, and Double A was the lucky bastard that got it.
Oh,
I would have been next, because I took his photo. Had Double A returned the favor, I would have had a Patterson one too, and Tony Atlas would be the only one I didn't have.
Pat bailed, so, you know, it wasn't Double A's fault.
Yeah.
Really. Number 48, London and Kendrick, one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, and, you know, this list we've actually talked about, unlike the previous list that we did, where I was completely, you know, getting this all the first time.
Right.
I still think London and Kendrick deserve to be higher. Longest reigning tag team champions in SmackDown history,
yes.
And they're only number 48.
Yeah, I mean, under a team like, for example, 47, the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
The biggest tag team in wrestling history, arguably, besides the Natural Disasters, but what did they really do?
Yeah.
They were the team in the ring when the Mega Powers broke up.
Ooh, yeah.
Exactly. Big deal.
But yeah, London and Kendrick, I think, should be higher. Not much higher, maybe, but, you know, maybe the 30 range.
Yeah, 30s. There you go. That works.
Somewhere in there.
Well, when you hear who's in the 30s, as you recall, you'll be like, wait a minute. But you thought it was funny, so whatever. 47 Twin Towers, I said. 46 the Headshrinkers. Now, granted, the Headshrinkers didn't do much, period.
But they were tag champions.
They were tag champions in WWF. They were NWA tag champions during the WWF run.
That doesn't count.
Well, it does, though, because it was during the WWF run. They won it in the WWF.
Okay.
As be defeating the Midnights.
Okay.
So it does count. And then went on to, break up. Chaz, Mosh went on to be, what was it, Beaver Cleavage. And Thrasher just kind of dissolved away, unfortunately. And, but in their run as WWF champions, in their run in the WWF period, they were one of the most popular tag teams I ever saw.
The Headshrinkers?
Yeah. Headshrinkers, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Headbangers.
Yeah, you're thinking Headbangers.
Sorry about that. Wow. Okay. Alright, well, whatever.
Headbangers aren't on the list. Let's just throw that out there.
And they shouldn't be. I don't
know. I think they should.
I don't think they should.
Over the Twin Towers?
Well, Twin Towers, maybe. Okay. But the Headshrinkers, Samu and Fatu, the Samoan SWAT team in the old NWA. There we go. Sorry about that, Headshrinkers. I apologize, Rikishi. Rikishi knows us. We're in trouble. I'm in trouble. Oh,
Rikishi's going to send Pinky to come beat your ass.
I know, right? And dance over my corpse.
That's right.
Along with Grandmaster.
Funk is on a roll.
No, not that one. Not that one. You fly today. Anyway, the Headshrinkers, Samu and Fatu, were a great tag team. They debuted, I think, 92 or 93. They had a good little run there. They included the Barbarian in the later part of their run as Sione. But as Samu and Fatu, they were WWF champions a couple of different times, I think. Maybe just once. But they were led by Captain Lou and by Alpha, which made them historic. And they've gone on to, Rikishi's done, Fatu's become Rikishi and been very popular over the better part of the last 20 years.
Samu just kind of fizzled
out a little bit, yeah. But before the WWF, they were also really popular in their Samoan SWAT team days. They were part of a War Games match.
Okay.
Or maybe it was Tower of Doom. Yeah. Either War Games or Tower of Doom. It was on the War Games DVD. But anyway, so yeah, they're great. I love that. I apologize for the mess up there. Number 45, the Moondogs, before either of our time.
Yeah. But
the Moondogs are most famous for having one of their competitors not be able to get back into the U.S. with a visa, so they replaced him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But the Headbangers don't belong on the list.
I know. Right, seriously? All right.
I'm just throwing it back there at you because you said they don't. It's like...
Well, Moondogs were tag champions back in the days when the tag team division was really cooking in the 70s, so,
Well, the Headbangers were in there during that whole Bodydonnas, Smoking Guns.
Right. The pre Christian Hardy's Duggas era. Yeah.
That was a pretty hot division. Furnace and LaFawn.
Like I said, I don't mind the Headbangers. I don't think they belong compared to most of these teams. The Twin Towers, yes, by far they surpass the Twin Towers. But most of these teams, with the exception of a few, are on the list compared to the Headbangers. 44, Booker and Goldust. A short team in the grand scheme of things, but a popular as hell tag team. Former World Tag Team Champions, united against Evolution, united against the Dudleys, and against the entire tag team division at Armageddon 03, I believe it was. When Flair and Batista won the titles. Booker and Goldust won it later on in 04. It was earlier in 03.
Yeah, it was earlier in 03.
Earlier in 03. So, yeah, maybe end of 02. It was, yeah, I don't know. But
it was the first big thing that Booker did coming off of the invasion of the Alliance.
Yeah. Because he had that shampoo thing with Edge, and then the summer of, that's what it was, the summer of 02, he joined the NWO, and Goldust was kind of like being like his little scrub or whatever. Then they went off to the tag team thing. That's what it was. So end of 02.
Mm-hmm.
Great tag team, though. Great stuff. Good times. Number 43, a team that, again, they were popular, but do they really belong? The Killer Bees. B. Brian Blair and Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. I think if you're going with the popularity of the 80s tag teams, heel or face, then yes, the Killer Bees belong. If you're going with accomplishments overall in their careers, they don't belong anywhere near this damn list.
Iron Sheik would get on, I believe it's Blair for not sharing his coke with him.
That's right. E. Brian Blair, that's right. 42, Barbarian and Warlord, the Powers of Pain.
Okay.
Both went on to more success, I think, individually. Warlord with Slick, Barbarian with Bobby Heenan. But they were a great initial run as a tag team with Mr. Fuji after Mr. Fuji turned on Demolition, turning themselves heel and Demolition babyface as a result. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
And just, it was good. I always like the powers of Pain, and I like watching them back on tape. I go back and look at the history.
I have nothing bad to say about them, but they're just another one of those teams that when you get to some of the ones that were left off, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
41, a throw-together team that just freaking clicked and worked and lasted for well over the second half of 2009, Jeri-Show.
Yeah.
This rejuvenated Big Show's career by leaps and bounds. It took Jericho to the stratosphere that he already belonged in anyway.
It got Jericho ready for that heel title run that he just so dominated.
Yeah, well, no. He had the heel title run, and then he kind of fizzled out for a little bit. And then he and Edge won the tag titles after he was already world champion twice.
Okay.
And then after Jeri-Show, he won the title back in the Chamber thanks to Shawn Michaels. He was champion for like a month because he beat Edge at WrestleMania, and then Swagger cashed in on him. So Jeri-Show was between his two big world title runs.
The time frames on him is where I always get lost, but still.
Yeah. But Jeri-Show was great because it wasn't supposed to work, and it did. Even their theme was good.
Yeah.
Crank the walls down.
It's the Big Show.
And Jericho! So dumb, but it's great.
Yeah.
Alright,
better mashup than when they did Rated RKO.
Definitely, which didn't make the list at all. Oh, they did. Yeah, they did. They made the list. But again, they belong, and the Headbangers don't, so, you know. Number 40, Team Angle / the world's greatest tag team. Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. Definitely belong on this list. I would dare say even they belong on the top 40 of WWE tag teams all time.
I think their position is good. I don't know if I'd put them too much higher. I mean,
No.
yeah, there's other teams I'd maybe bump down, but with some of the teams we've named that I'd bump up or replace, I think World's Greatest Tag Team belongs in that bottom 25, definitely.
Yeah, they were still very good and very impactful for as short a time as they were really together. Number 39, Skip, Chris Candido, and Zip, Tom Pritchard, the Bodydonnas, along with Sunny and later Cloudy. Lordy. Do you remember that? You don't remember that? Oh my God. When Tammy left Skip and Chris and Tom, then went to the Godwins, then went to the Smoking Guns, at King of the Ring that year, whatever it was, the Bodydonnas debuted this man, literally a man dressed in Sunny clothes. They called him, her, Cloudy.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was ignorant.
Chris Candido needs to be resurrected from the grave and bitch slapped for that.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure that was Vince McMahon and JR's idea.
Probably so.
Because 96 JR, they already had Imposter Razor and Diesel, so, you know, Imposter Sunny to go with it.
Touche.
There you go. But the Bodydonnas, when they were initially there, even Skip and Sunny were successful.
Yes.
And then when they brought in Dr. Tom as Zip, they were a great team. They won the tag titles at WrestleMania Free-For-All. And they were champions for a good couple of months there. And they had a good run.
Indeed.
Number 38, the U.S. Express, Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham.
Okay.
The original holders of the Real American theme before they gave it to Hogan. And the tag champions that main evented the tag team portion of WrestleMania.
Yes.
Losing
to Sheik and
Volkov. And then there was the tag team main event, OVT against Piper and Orndorff. But the tag team titles were on the line the first WrestleMania, and they were the champions going in. They only took it away. Yes, they lost, but thanks to Freddie Blassie's shenanigans. And then they got the belts back later, so, you know. And then Volkov and Sheik were never the same again. They got sold to Slick, and they just kind of... But Windham and Rotundo both ended up back in the NWA with the Varsity Club and with the Horsemen. So, they had greater success outside of the WWF until IRS came along in 1991 for Rotundo, and Barry was always more successful with Crockett, always. Yeah. 37. Team Lay Cool. And 50 tag teams, all time, in the 51-year history of the WWE, Michelle McCool and Layla are ranked 37th all time. What the fuck is that list even thinking?
Okay, now I defended them earlier, and I'm going to defend them here now.
Okay, good.
In the modern era, because, yeah, we can go back to the 80s when they actually had women's tag teams. But in the modern era, Lay Cool were about as close as you could get to a tag team without physically really being a tag team. I mean, yeah, they teamed together a few times, but, you know, considering there were no real women's tag teams to compete against.
Except Trish and Snooki, apparently, WrestleMania.
Yeah. But it's like, Lay Cool shared the women's title. So much so that it was cut in half so each one could have a half of it.
Yeah.
They shared the Divas title, both defended it. And they have the most epic breakup video in YouTube history. I haven't checked yet to see if it's on my desktop. If it is, you're going to see it right now.
And if you didn't just see it, then we just kind of sit there for seconds going, so whatever, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
good. It's all good. Yes.
If I don't still have it, it's When She Loved Me, Sarah McLachlan's song from Toy Story 2, Jesse's theme, put 2 clips of Lay Cool.
Both
the
Happy
rise and
the
fall.
Yes, it's the greatest video in the history of WWE, and they didn't even produce it.
No. But yeah, I mean, I love Lay Cool.
I do too.
In retrospect, I miss Lay Cool. I couldn't stand Michelle McCool then. I still can't really stand Michelle McCool now. Always loved Layla. But Lay Cool worked.
They did work. I just don't think 37, compared to all these other tag teams in the history of WWE, that a women's tag team who weren't even champions during the championship run that the championship had in the 80s, just like, it doesn't make sense to me. Even with what you just said, it's just like, no, don't get it.
Don't get it. I defend it though.
Okay. 36. WWE only now. The Steiners. 3-time tag champions at WWE over the course of like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Seriously. They also the house show to house show with Money Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steiner Line.
What's the other song? They had it. Dun, 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 dun. That lame Michigan wannabe song, whatever it was. But the Steiners were good. In terms of their WWE impact as a team in 1993 and 1994, they're where they should be, I think.
Okay.
35, The Legacy, not Orton, Rhodes and DiBiase. Because Orton was part of the stable legacy, but the tag team of that group was always Cody and Ted Jr.
Yes.
And
Cody and Ted were epic.
And they were just good, and they knew they were good. And it's just like when Cole was introducing Randy Orton to WrestleMania. He's cocky, he's brash, he's arrogant, and he is good. So were Legacy. And they knew they were good.
Yeah. I don't think Cody has gelled with a partner as good as he gelled with Ted.
Not even with Dustin.
Yeah. It's like, they're brothers, they're family. If anyone's going to know each other, it's going to be them. But they've been teasing breakups already, and Cody and Ted lasted.
If they already broke up by the time you see this.
Yeah.
So, again, May 1st.
Yeah. May 1st filming, they've been teasing breakups,
for like
which
2
means that
weeks,
they already ain't had the longevity that Cody and Ted did.
Exactly.
Cody and Drew were good, but still just didn't have the same chemistry Cody and Ted did.
Exactly. 34, the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. They call him the Foreign Legion on the list.
All hail Mother Russia.
1845.
Okay. Again, a great tag team, a great pairing of 2 tremendous singles talents that just worked to the point where they ended up being champions. Managed by arguably the greatest tag team manager of all time, besides Captain Lou Albano and Freddie Blassie. Because Freddie Blassie was the manager of champions.
Freddie Blassie's amazing. I miss Freddie to this day.
I wish I grew up in the era where Freddie was in his prime.
Yeah.
And just my dad went to see Freddie at the Olympic.
My dad used to talk about the Olympic and Freddie Blassie.
Freddie and Chavo Guerrero, you know, Roddy Piper being at the Olympic, you know, stuff like that.
When they showed that old footage on the old like Manias and shit of Freddie sitting in the crowds and watching the superstars of today performing and the superstars of tomorrow that have gone, and then he gets up and he walks through the door and just disappears, I still get chills.
I do too, every time, without fail.
Because I remember his final appearance saying, Devon, get the tables.
Yep, exactly. 33, Kane and X-Pac. a great team. Didn't last as long as they could have, but longer than we thought they would.
Yeah. And for all the problems that it seems to bring up today, X-Pac brought the heart out of Kane.
Yes.
You know, maybe that was a good call, maybe that was a bad call, but X-Pac made Kane human and relatable.
And in short term, it was a good idea. Long term, maybe not.
You know, and everyone gives X-Pac a ton of crap, but the fact that he was able to make Kane human speaks volumes about Shawn's ability.
And then took away that friendship from him by stealing his woman. That was just heartbreaking in '99 when DX got back together. That sucked. I was legit upset at Shawn. I hadn't become friends with him, but I was like, damn, Pac, really? It's fucked up. Number 32, Eminem. I feel they're too high.
Nitro, I don't know. I mean, I think for the time that they ran, they were virtually unbeatable.
But they lost titles a few different times.
I'm not talking about that. Unbeatable, maybe the wrong word. Unstoppable.
Okay.
A little bit better, because they were beaten, but they were firing on all cylinders.
They beat the great team of Eddie and Ray to start Eddie and Ray's descent into madness.
On their debut.
After Carlito's Cabana, this is true. They got it back from the Legion of Doom, the new Legion of Doom. They got it back from Batista and Ray, thanks to Mark Henry, but they got it back. And had Mercury not got released,
very well could.
Even farther. But had it not been for that, John Morrison wouldn't have got what John Morrison got either.
This is also true.
So Mercury could have been holding him back, for all we know. 31, Too Cool.
Way too high.
Way too high? Really? You know, are you not a Scotty?
I loved Too Cool.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I loved Too Cool. I kind of even liked Too Much.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Too Cool. But in the grand scheme of things, higher than Eminem, Legacy, Sheik and Volkov, even London and Kendrick.
Jeri-Show.
No.
All right.
And we were getting close to time, so I say we cut it here. We'll probably end up chopping this into 3 days.
Okay.
So for the end of part 1, I am Renegade.
I am Jeff Meacham.
And we'll see you tomorrow with part 2.